Pharmaceutical companies don't want to release definitive cures because they prefer patients to become chronic, selling them pills every day. This is a belief that is widespread among the public. In this video, we'll explore if this belief is true, and then, as we usually do on this channel, we'll mix biotechnology with the stock market performance of companies and analyze the best ones of the week in our usual format. Hop in, because Taxi Biotech is hitting the road. Today we're starting in the city of Barcelona with an image of the Sagrada Familia, an unfinished masterpiece. Could it be that the workers don't want to finish it so they can keep earning their paychecks? Just like the pharmaceutical companies with their pills, you know? If you want me to visit your city, let me know in the comments. Welcome to Taxi Biotech, a show to learn about news in the world of biotechnology and understand the impact on the stock market. The stock data I present here reflects the state of companies or the clinical trials and does not constitute any investment advice. This is pure entertainment. Pharmaceutical companies are terrible evil because they don't research definitive cures and instead focus on chronic treatments to maintain a constant revenue stream. I'll try to say no to this in 4 points before continuing with the usual program. First of all, facts. If pharmaceutical companies only want chronic treatments, vaccines wouldn't exist. Vaccines are just 1 or 2 shots in a lifetime for many diseases. For example, we have vaccines for human papillomavirus, hepatitis, or pneumococcus. If we contracted any of these diseases, they could easily lead to chronic treatments with significant cost. But they are prevented with low-cost vaccines. If the conspiracy theory were true, the pharmaceutical companies that sell chronic treatments could somehow prevent these vaccines from being created, and that's not the case. Second, the scientists. I also listen. The cure for cancer already exists, but they don't want to release it to keep selling pills. Honestly, to those people I ask, where did you do your PhD? I know they say these things without thinking so much, so I suppose that it can be forgiven, okay? But let's be clear. Any disease is incredibly complex, especially cancer, as it manifests differently in each patient. If there isn't a cure, it's simply because it's not yet possible. Thousands of scientists like me are working, looking for solutions to human diseases. If a scientist discovers the cure for any disease, he or she is going to share it with the world, and it would be unstoppable. And any company would be interested in having a treatment that cures patients because it could be immensely profitable. The pharmaceutical industry, like any other industry, advanced with the technology. When people talk about a cure through a treatment, they are unknowing talking about modifying DNA. Without altering DNA, any cure is temporary. Until now, we haven't had the technology to safely and effectively modify the DNA. It's only in recent years that therapies in this area are being approved, and progress is being made. In today's program, we will look at 2 examples of therapies in this area. And 3, doctors. People will always seek the best options for themselves. And this has happened in our daily lives. Postal mail was replaced by email. Was there a postal service to stop Yahoo, Hotmail, or Gmail? No. Technological advance cannot be stopped. Field cameras were replaced by mobile phones. Could Kodak do anything? No. Technological advance cannot be stopped. Traditional vehicles will be replaced by electric ones, as their technology improves with better ranges. Are companies like Repsol or Volkswagen boycotting this progress? No. They are adapting their business because technology cannot be stopped. Now let's put ourselves in the shoes of an European doctor, as they are the ones I am familiar with. Let me know in the comments how doctors act in other countries. I assure you that a doctor wants the best for their patients. They will not accept any medication unless they are convinced of its efficacy and safety for their patients. Doctors are experts in their field and stay up to date in any medical advance in their specialty. As better therapies are approved and technology advances, doctors will provide them to their patients. Medical technology cannot be stopped. And 4. Patents and companies. Patents in medicine normally last 20 years. Pharmaceutical and biotech companies must evolve toward better treatments that doctors demand. If they don't, the company cannot move forward. That's why there are hundreds of companies seeking solutions to human diseases, some temporary and others definitive. This race for the best treatment, plus the evolution of technology, plus a well-informed patient under the guidance of their doctor, results in the best treatments humanity has developed, without hidden agendas or conspiracies. And now, let's move to our usual program, commenting on the top 3 biotech stocks for the Nasdaq on the week and exploring lessons to achieve these explosive movements in the future. Protara Therapeutics is up 96%, Renovaro is up to 134%, and Senti Biosciences is up to 154% this week. Let's look at Protara's chart with a 100% increase and peaks of over 200%. Analyzing their press releases, we see many communications starting in November. Let's review them one by one. On November 12th, they announced that they would present interim data imminently by the end of the year, which was already close. They also mentioned presenting data in early 2025, and they have a fast track designation. Returning to the chart, we see that after this communication, the stock rose slightly, which I've marked here with the first green line. A few days later, they announced they would present data at a scientific conference on December 5. This news received mixed reactions from investors. In this case, there was a drop after the announcement, marked by this second green line. Third, and this is the key point, on December, they communicate that they would hold an online presentation about their results on December 5. What I've observed over recent times while analyzing this market is that if a company announces a conference to present results after a congress, it usually means the results are good. If the results are bad, they are typically communicated first, followed by the conference. But of course, this is just my subjective opinion, and it depends on the behavior of each company. Look here, in the last green line. The day is the 3rd of December, the day that the conference was announced, and there was an opportunity to buy the stock before the presentation of the positive results in the Congress and its 200% increase in valuation. By the way, what did they present on December 5? It was something that clearly increased the company earnings expectations and greatly pleased investors. Do you know what it was? This is for the conspiracy theorist. A very safe and effective treatment with complete response rate of 70% in patients with bladder cancer. Next, Senti Biosciences with 151% increase over the week and peaks of more than 700. Why did the company's expectations rise so much? It was due to 2 back-to-back announcements on the same day. The first was a private round of 34 million, and the second, again, for the conspiracy theorists, they presented preliminary results of their leukemia therapy, where 2 out of 3 patients achieved complete remission. Returning to the chart, note that from 700% gain to 150% gain, by the end of the week there was a significant drop. Let's try to learn from this decline. First, let's look at the financial data. The company has high expenses and little cash, even considering the recent capital injection. Biotech companies often carry out capital increases after reporting positive results, and investors fear that their shares will be diluted. Second, they only presented data from 3 patients, and larger trials are needed to confirm the results, so this company is still in its very early stages. Third, the CAR-T therapy market already has significant competition. To enter and compete, the company needs spectacular results with new technologies. Consider that many of these therapies are already on the market, distributed by large pharmaceutical companies, and it's relatively easy to expand it to other cell types and other receptors. And this is not a conspiracy theory, it's simply market scale. Otherwise, Senti still has room to grow because its market cap is only 25 million. It could even be acquired by a larger company to develop CAR T therapies with natural killer cells. And finally, Renovaro Biosciences, with a solid rise this week. However, after reviewing the press releases, I couldn't find any recent catalysis for this price increase. I only found that they changed their CEO. It's also not a stock with a small float or many shares shorted, so I'm not sure what else could have driven this movement. And finally, let's summarize the lessons I've learned from these videos, with today's highlighted in yellow. From Protara, we saw that announcing conference before results are presented at scientific meetings can have a higher probability of being positive, based on my experience, but it depends on the behavior of each company, of course. From Senti, we see that the stock price can quickly correct if there was an overreaction or if the therapy faced significant competition. Be careful with this situation. And we end our journey in Barcelona, home to excellent research centers like the IRB and CRG, which, besides being outstanding, are set in a fantastic environment. See you next time!